The first sign something was wrong came when my biggest client emailed to thank me for accepting a lower rate. I really appreciate your flexibility on the pricing, Emma. Not many designers would take a 40% cut just to maintain a good relationship. I stared at the email, coffee mug frozen halfway to my lips. Lower rate? I hadn't agreed to any rate reduction. My contract with Morrison Tech explicitly stated $4,000 monthly for their design retainer. I logged into my freelance platform, fingers trembling. There it was, a message sent from my account 2 months ago, agreeing to reduce my rate to $2,400. A message I never sent. My phone rang. Jason, my husband. Hey babe, just calling to remind you about dinner at my brother's tonight. I can't make it, I said, scrolling through more messages I didn't recognize. Something's wrong with my freelance accounts. Wrong how? Someone's been accessing them, changing my rates, sending messages. I need to figure out what's happening. Want me to come home? Maybe Tyler can help. He's good with computer stuff. Tyler, my brother-in-law, the tech genius, who'd helped me set up my freelance accounts 3 years ago when I left my agency job. The same Tyler who always seemed to be living beyond his means despite working part-time at Best Buy. No, I said slowly. I'll handle it. Over the next 4 hours, I uncovered the full scope of the theft. Every single client had received messages about new payment arrangements. Instead of paying my business account directly, they'd been instructed to send payments to a new processor for tax purposes. Morrison Tech, $4,000 monthly, redirected to an account that wasn't mine. Greenfield Startups, $3,200 monthly, same story. 3 smaller clients. Another $2,800 monthly, all redirected. Total, $10,000 per month. My entire freelance income. But here's where it got interesting. The payment processor was registered under TM Digital Services. Tyler Matthews Digital Services. My brother-in-law hadn't even bothered to hide his initials. I'd been living off my savings for months, thinking business was slow, that clients were late paying, that the market was tough. Meanwhile, Tyler had been collecting my money like clockwork. My laptop dinged with another discovery. The bank account everything was being funneled to, I recognized the routing number. It was the same bank where Tyler had his accounts, the one he'd recommended to me, for small business owners. I called my accountant, Sheila. I need you to pull all my 1,099s for this year, I said. Emma, tax season isn't for another. This is urgent. I think someone's been stealing my freelance income. Oh shit. Give me an hour. While I waited, I documented everything. Screenshots, bank records, message logs. The fraudulent messages all came from IP addresses traced to Tyler's apartment or his phone. He hadn't even used a VPN. Sheila called back. Emma, according to the 1,099s your clients filed, you've earned $147,000 this year. I've received maybe $15,000. Where's the rest? Being deposited into my brother-in-law's fake payment processing company. Emma, that's wire fraud. That's federal. And he's going to have a massive tax problem. Tax problem? Your clients are reporting payments to your Social Security number. As far as the IRS is concerned, you earned that money. But if he's not reporting it as income. I smiled for the first time all day. He's spending unreported income. Exactly. Want me to make some calls? Do it. That night, I skipped dinner at Tyler's and instead met with a lawyer who specialized in cybercrime. By the time Jason came home, I had a plan. Where were you? He asked. Tyler made your favorite lasagna. Tyler stole $130,000 from me. Jason laughed. Then he saw my face. What? I showed him everything. The redirected payments, the forged messages, the fake company. His face went from confusion to disbelief to rage. I'm going to kill him. No, you're going to call him and act normal. We need him to not know that I know, not yet. Emma, he stole from you. From us. And he's about to learn what happens when you steal from someone who keeps meticulous records. The next 2 weeks were torture. I had to pretend everything was normal while my lawyer and accountant built the case. I even went to Sunday dinner at Tyler's new house, the one he'd bought 6 months ago, claiming crypto investments had paid off. Love what you've done with the place, I said, admiring the $10,000 kitchen renovation. Thanks. His wife Melissa beamed. Tyler's been so successful with his investments. Maybe he could give you some tips, help you grow your little design business. My little design business, I repeated. Right. Tyler avoided eye contact, but I caught him watching me. Did he suspect? Or was he just nervous around the person he'd been robbing blind? Actually, I said, I've been thinking about taxes. Getting worried about quarterly payments. Tyler, you mentioned you use a great accountant. He choked on his beer. Yeah. I'll send you his info. Great. I'd hate to get in trouble with the IRS. 3 days later, the first domino fell. My clients received legal notices that their payments had been misdirected due to fraud. They were assured their contracts with me were valid, but they'd need to provide documentation for the investigation. Morrison Tech's CFO called me immediately. Emma, we had no idea. The messages seemed legitimate, came from your account. He had my login credentials. I trusted him. We'll cooperate fully. Do you need an advance on future work? I can't imagine the financial strain. I'll manage. But thank you. The second domino was better. Tyler received a notice from the IRS. Not an audit, not yet, but a discrepancy letter. His reported income of $32,000 didn't match the deposits in his accounts. Where had the extra $130,000 come from? He called Jason in a panic. Bro, I think someone stole my identity. The IRS is saying I have income one didn't report. Jason, who deserved an Oscar, played along. That's crazy, man. What kind of income? They're saying I received payments for freelance work. But I don't freelance. This has to be a mistake. Weird. Hey, Emma does freelance work. Maybe there's a mix-up? Yeah, maybe. The third domino was my favorite. I filed a civil suit for the full amount stolen, plus damages. Tyler was served at work, in front of his coworkers and customers. The lawsuit was specific, detailed, and included screenshots of every fraudulent transaction. My phone exploded with calls from Tyler, Melissa, Jason's parents. I ignored them all. How could you? Melissa screamed in a voicemail. We're family. You're trying to ruin us. Ruin them? They'd been living off my work for a year. Every dinner out, every vacation photo on Instagram, every home improvement, funded by my stolen income. The criminal charges came next. Wire fraud, identity theft, computer fraud. Federal charges because he'd crossed state lines electronically. The FBI actually showed up at his door. Emma, please. Tyler's mother begged when she cornered me at the grocery store. He made a mistake. Can't you just let him pay you back? With what money? My money that he already spent. He's your family. Family doesn't steal $130,000. Family doesn't watch you stress about bills while they're spending your income on vacations. The IRS audit was brutal. Tyler couldn't explain the income. He tried claiming it was gifts, then loans, then investments. Each lie dug him deeper. Tax evasion charges were added to his growing list. Jason struggled with divided loyalties. He's still my brother, he said one night. And I'm your wife. Who do you think has been paying our mortgage while my income was being stolen? I know. I wish it didn't have to be like this. He chose this. Every month for a year, he chose to steal from me. Tyler tried one last desperate move. He showed up at my home office, where I'd been rebuilding my business. Emma, please. I'll lose everything. My house, my job. Melissa will leave me. The kids. You have kids depending on you, and you chose to steal? I was desperate. My crypto investments tanked. I needed money fast. I was going to pay it back. When? After you bought the house? After the vacation to Cabo? After the new Tesla? He broke down crying. I can't go to prison. I'll do anything. I'll sign over the house, sell everything. Just please drop the charges. I can't drop federal charges, Tyler. That's not how this works. The civil suit then. The IRS problems. You could tell them it was a misunderstanding. A year-long misunderstanding where you accidentally logged into my accounts and accidentally redirected $130,000. Emma, get out of my house. The trial was swift. Tyler's lawyer tried to paint it as a family dispute, a misunderstanding between relatives. The prosecutor presented it as what it was, systematic theft and fraud. The evidence was overwhelming. IP addresses, bank records, forged documents. Tyler had even been stupid enough to use the stolen money for traceable purchases. His Tesla payment matched a deposit from my Morrison Tech payment exactly. He got 3 years federal prison, 2 years probation, and restitution of the full amount stolen plus interest. The IRS hit him with $65,000 in back taxes and penalties. The house was foreclosed. Melissa filed for divorce before he was even sentenced. At the sentencing, Tyler's lawyer asked for leniency. He's lost everything, Your Honor. His family, his home, his reputation. The judge looked at me. Ms. Walker, do you wish to make a statement? I stood. Tyler didn't just steal money. He stole my peace of mind, my security, my trust in family. For a year, I doubted my own business abilities, thinking I was failing. I depleted my savings, stressed my marriage, and considered giving up my career. Meanwhile, he was living off my work. So no, I don't think he's lost enough. He's lost what he bought with stolen money. That's not punishment, that's justice. Tyler got the full sentence. Jason and I survived, though it took counseling. His parents eventually understood, especially after seeing the evidence. The family split, some sided with Tyler, claiming I should have handled it privately. Others were appalled by what he'd done. I rebuilt my freelance business, stronger this time. New security protocols, new contracts, new boundaries. My clients stuck with me, impressed by how I'd handled the situation. Morrison Tech even increased my retainer out of sympathy and respect. 6 months after Tyler reported to prison, I got a letter from him. An apology, probably written with his lawyer's help for the parole board. I threw it away unread. Melissa reached out once, asking if I could find it in my heart to help with her kids' school supplies. I sent her a link to my freelance platform. I'm always looking for new clients, I wrote. My rate is $150 per hour. She didn't respond. The IRS eventually collected most of what Tyler owed through asset seizure and wage garnishment that would follow him for years after prison. I received my restitution in installments, slowly getting back what was stolen. But the real satisfaction came from a different source. Tyler's fellow inmates found out he was in for stealing from family. Apparently, that's frowned upon even in federal prison. His 3 years were not pleasant. "You destroyed my life over money," he wrote in another letter I actually read. "No, Tyler. You destroyed your own life with greed. I just made sure you faced the consequences. My business now brings in $15,000 monthly. I have better clients, better security, and a better understanding of who to trust. Every invoice sent feels like a small victory." Tyler gets out next year. He'll have a felony record, a mountain of debt, and a family that wants nothing to do with him. All because he thought his little sister-in-law would never figure out where her money was going. He thought wrong. The IRS doesn't knock gently when you've stolen $130,000 in unreported income. They knock like federal agents with a warrant. Which, coincidentally, they were.